Everybody, today we're going to pick up from the top of Daf Nun Dalet Amud Aleph. In Yetz Hashem, we're going to try to get all the way till the end of Daf Samach Amud Beis. Let's jump right into the top of the Amud. Tanya Kivasa de Rava. Last week we ended off saying the halacha of Rava. The Rava learns Imcha he is mamish. Ervas Imcha is mamish. Let's see a ride to this. He's bringing it to his Kahanim. It says as follows. Tanya Kivasa de Rava. It says in the pasuk Ish Ashish Yishkav Es Eishes Aviv. Zok the Heilige Gemara Ish is Prat Lekaton. Asher Yishkav es Eishes Aviv, mashma, from there you can see Bein Eishes Aviv she'imai, whether it's your father's wife that's your mother, Bein Eishes Aviv she'lo imai. However, when it's your mother that's not your father's wife, where do you know that it's us? Or imai she'ein Eishes Aviv minayin, tamalaymar, Ervas Aviv Gila. If you look inside the pasuk, it's very clearly, it says, Ervas Aviv Gila, and that's mufna lahakish, it's extra. And we're going to make a hakish v'ladin mimenu gzeir shav. Mois yumasu. When you look inside the pasuk right afterwards, it says Mois yumasu to tell us that what do you get beskila? The punishment is skila. Atoim beskila ein alabachas mikol misas amuris beTorah. Maybe in such a case, it's considered one of the misas that are mentioned in the Torah, nemakan. The answer is dmei and bump, v'nemer by v'yidaini dmei and bump. And just like over there, malahalon, you get it beskila. Afkan, so too over here, you're going to get it beskila. Frak the Gemara, Einish Shamanu Azar Minayin. Einish we clearly know, but how do you know they have Azara? On that, Zok the Gemara, Tamilayma Ervas Avicha Loisigala. Avicha, we're learning Zu Eishis Avicha is your father's wife. Atoim Eishis Avicha, maybe Ein El Ervas Avicha Mamish. Maybe it means someone who does tashmish with his own father, Rachmana Litzlan, Nemakan Ervas Avicha Loisigala, and Nemer Lahalon. Regarding the first pasuk, which we mentioned in the top of the Amud, that Ervas Aviv Gila, Ma Lahalon, just like over there, it's Be'ishus through marriage. Hakos medaber afkan beishas hakos medaber. Umashma bein eishes aviv she'imai. It's very clearly whether it's your father's wife that's your mother. Bein eishes aviv she'eino imai. However, ima your mother she'eino eishes aviv minayin. Tamalayma says in the pasuk ervas avicha. The erva says in the pasuk ervas imcha loy segale. Which means to say is that the Torah is saying which is not your father's wife, but your mother, you're going to make it just like in the case of your father's wife. Einish minayin, in such a case where your mother was not your father's wife. Regarding, we're going to see the mitzvahs b'nei noyach, regarding lahalon, what does it say over there? Regarding the einish, regarding the einish, it says over there, ervas aviv gila, ma bazor asa kosev imay she'einish es aviv ki imay she'einish aviv. So to abba einish, we're going to say the same thing. Asa kosev imay. The Torah is making the mother she'einish es aviv ki imay like a mother shehi eishes aviv. And the Gemara continues. The pasuk says imcha hi. So we're learning from there. Mishum imay ato mechayvay v'ato mechayvay mishum eishes aviv. This is who? This is very clearly reflecting Mara of your Rabbanon that's learning. Same thing with the Gzeir Sakasov of what? Mushum Eishes Ava Tamachaiva. What is he going to do? Ervas Avicha. Mamish, reflecting Mara of our Rabbanon. Ervas Avicha Tami Mamish. Haime Vezacha Nafka. What's the difference? A father, let's be clear. If you're telling me the guy's doing tashmish with his father, why is he different than any Zachar? And that it clearly says in the Torah Vezacha that a person cannot do tashmish with his Zachar. The Gemara answers, Lechayev alav shtayin, to be chayev both. Ucheder of Yehuda, Damer of Yehuda, Nachri abal aviv. A person in Nachri that Rachmana Litzlan does tashmish with his father, chayev shtayin. Habal achi aviv, the same thing, because he's learning it from what? Meve'es zachar and ervas aviyah, achi avicha le'segale, that tell you that you chayev shtayin. So very clearly learning from both. Zok the Heilige Gemara Merava Mistalba Muslim Yehuda. You know what we're talking about? Yisrael b'shaygit. He didn't know that it was aser. Ubekarbon. The nekuda is that to be chayiv to karbonis. The haidikam nachri. Why does it say nachri in the Torah? Lishna ma'alyu. Zisaka daitach zok the Gemara. What's the raya? Zok Rabbi. You know why I'm saying this? Zisaka daitach nachri mamish. Dina mainu. What is that loch of a nachri? Gets katali, gets killed. Zok the Gemara. Betray katli katlsli. You're going to kill him twice. Elamai avada means a yid, and it was a lishna malya. Tani nami achi abal aviv. The halacha is chayiv shtayim. Habal achi aviv chayiv shtayim. Ikadamri de like Rabbi Yehuda. The ikadamri afilu teim Rabbi Yehuda. Ma'iselo bekavachayim. He's going to learn a kavachayim from what? Me achi aviv. You're learning that from the father's brother. Ma achi aviv. The korva da aviv hu and yechayiv shtayim. Aviv, which is mamish like kol shekain. V'kamiflgi b'palukta da abai v'rava. The Mar Sava, which is a Baya, Mar Sava, Einshin min Adin, and you can make a Kavachaimer. Umar Savar, which is Rava, Ein Einshin min Hadin. Rabbanon, Zok Frekti Mara Azaro, La'eshis Avim Minol. Where do they know Azar for a father's wife? Zok the Gemara, Nafkaluhu, he's learning an F from where? Me'ervas Eshes Avicha Loi Sigala. Rabbi Yehuda Mavoila Lazar Eshes Avil Achemisa. Rabbanon, what's Rabbi Yehuda going to learn this from? Ahu Mesefer the Kra Nafka. Zok the Gemara, Ervas Avicha, because Rabbanon, who Mesefer the Kra Nafka of Ervas Avichi. Rabbi Yehuda, what's Rabbi Yehuda going to say with this pasuk? He's going to learn it. Ahu Mevoile Mishum Eshes Avata Mechayvo Viata Mechayvo Mishum Eshes Ish. Zok the Gemara Vanat Nan Abal Eshes Ev. We know Abal Eshes Av, someone who's born his father's wife Chayvela Mishum Eshes Av, Mishum Eshes Ish. Bein Bechaya Ovid, Bein Lachem says Ovid. Veloy Polig Rabbi Yehuda. Yehuda doesn't argue. My answer is no. You're making a mistake. On my buying, no. Taka Rabbi Yehuda argues Polig Bebraisa. Zok the Rabbanon, Zok the Gemara Rabbanon Einish the Eshes Aviv La'achar Misa. Where does Rabbanon know the Einish of a father's wife La'achar Misa Minolu? Zok the Gemara Bisham. Remember Yehuda, we understand Ma'aseh Lebegzer Shavu. El Rabbanon Minolu. They'll tell you who Ervas Aviv Gila. What's the coming? The what? The Mapik Rabbi Legzer Shava. Rabban is going to learn it. Mafkale Inuhu leEinish the Eshes Aviv Lachamis. The Gemara continues according to Rabban and Einish leImo sheEinish Eshes Aviv Minolu. Rav Shisha ben David Demakras says in the pasuk Imchahi to tell us Asa Kasav leImo sheEinish Eshes Aviv Kihimo sheEshes Aviv. So let's make a quick sikun very clearly. We have three psukim in the Torah. It's really Vayikra Chav Dalid, Vayikra Chaf Yud Aleph, and Vayikra Yud Ches Zayin. So it says clearly in the pasuk, Ervas Avicha, the Ervas Imcha, Loi Segala, Imchahi. So Zok this follows. Ervas Avicha on the pasuk of what? The pasuk Zayin, it comes with that according to Yehuda, it's for Hazara. And according to Rabbanon, what are they learning? Aviv, that's what we started with, Aviv Mamish. And then we had Ervas Imcha. So there's no argument. Bein Rabbi Yehuda, Bein Rabbanon, what's it coming to tell us? Hazara le'ima, in the case of a mother, that it's not his father's wife. And then when it says imchahi, on that Rabbi Yehuda mishum ima yata mechayva, v'yata mechayva mishum eishes aviv. And according to Rabbanon, they're going to tell us that it's an einish in such a case, dafka for imai and not for eishes aviv. That's the pasuk of Zayin. What about the pasuk of Ches, which in the Torah is Vayikra Yud Ches Ches, Ervas Eshes Avicha Loi Segala, Ervas Avicha Hu. According to Ervas Eshes Avicha in the beginning of the pasuk, according to Yehuda is what? Hazar L'achar Misa. And according to the Rabbanon, it's what? Hazar to tell us when it's an area of Eshes Av. What about the next Nakuda of the pasuk where it finished and it says Ervas Avicha Hi? And that according to Yehuda again, Eshes Avatam Chayva v'loy mishum Eshes Ish, and Rabbanan is going to tell us in a case of Azara for the father La'achar Misa. And then the end of the pasuk, and then when it says Ervas Aviv Gila, what are we learning now from that case of Ervas Aviv Gila? According to Yehuda, it's Mufna L'Gzer Shava. According to Rabbanan, again, this is the end of the Gemara. This is for the Einish for Eshes Aviv La'achar Misa. Very good. Shmak Zok Tehela Gemara Vayta Abal Kalasa V'Chulei. Frekting Mara, daughter-in-law, why you not chayv for his son's wife? L'chayv v'nami mishum eishes b'noi, amabaya pasach hakos b'kalasai, v'sim eishes noi, to tell us, loim l'cha zui kalasai, zui eishes b'noi, and yechayev, and everything. Zok the heilige Mishnah. Habo ala zachar. So when Rachmana Litzlan does tashmish with the zachar, or of a behema, or the isha that brings the behema on her, v'isha ameviyas a behema, the halacha is, what is the punishment? Beskila. Zok the Gemara, Im Adam Chata, why would you kill the behema? Adam Chata, behema, my Chata. Why are we killing the animal? Elafi, two reasons, Zok the Mishnah, Elafi, Shabala, Adam Takala Yada. This, Rahman al-San, this behema caused the Yid to do what? To do tashmish with it. Lefika Chamakos, if they suckle. That's one mahalach to va'acher. Shelaite behema, veris b'shok, v'yaymu aha, zuhi pleinish and iskal yada. Look at this shar. This behema caused Reuven to die because he did tashmish with it. Zok the Heilig Gemara, Zachar Minolan. And that Gemara says, the Tanna Bana says in the pasuk, Ish, Asher Yishkav, Prat, Lekotim. Asher Yishkav, Es HaZachar, Bein Gadol, Bein Kotim. Says it clearly in the pasuk, V'Isha Yishkav, it says, Zachar, Mishka V'Isha. Mishka V'Isha to tell us that what? Malcha Akatsu, Sheshnei Mishkav, V'Isha, Kedarka, we all know, and Shaloi Kedarka. Amishmal hareze ba lelamed v'nimtza lamed. It comes out telling us very clear. Be'etzem mishkavei zachar is coming to tell us what shaloi kedarka and kedarka. But this is coming to tell us that a zachar is chayiv even on what? Even shaloi kedarka. Why? It comes to tell us nimtza lamed what? Nimtza lamed mishkavei zachar. We don't need a pasuk because it's very clearly that mishkavei zachar is only one mahalach to do mishkavei zachar in a man. It's shaloi kedarka. Elahai. So what's it coming to tell us? Mishkavei that baal isha ben kedarka ben shaloi kedarka. The halacha is chayiv. And then it says in the pasuk, mais yumasu. The halacha is beskila gets skila. Atayim beskila. Maybe ayin ala machas kom misu shabbatayra. Maybe hereg. Maybe chenek. Nemakan demayim bum. That's the end of the pasuk. Whenever ba'avi yidaini, we're going to learn with this regarding this avodas haras. Demayim bum. Over there, it's clearly malalon beskila. And that pasuk is no question about it. It says be'evin yirgmu oisam afkan beskila. Zok the Gemara on the top and on dalat on the base. Oynish shamanu azar minayin. We didn't know azar time. Allah says in the pasuk, ve'zochar loisishkav mishkavei isha toy eva hi lamanu azar l'shaychef. So it's very clearly the pasuk regarding for the shaychef. Hazar, the person who's the receiving end. Hazar l'nishkav minayin. Tamalaymar loyeh kodesh mibnei Yisrael. Kodesh we all know over here. Rashi is very clear. It means lashon's nos. It's very clearly divrei meir. It's coming to tell us that Kodesh over there, that's where they got punished for doing all the ta'evas, which was this. Rabbi clearly says, you know how Rabbi Kiva is going to learn it? Don't let yourself be submitted to what? To get tashmish. So it's machlokes, Rabbi Shimon, Rabbi Kiva, it's from separate psukim, and it's going to make very practical nafkaminas, which we're going to see in a moment. Behema minolan. Zok tehele Gemara, de Tani Rabbanan, ish. Ish is coming to tell us, prat lekotin, when it says ish ashayitin shechavta behema. Prat lekotin, ashayitin shechavta behema, doesn't make a difference. Bang, daila, bang, tano, doesn't make a difference if the animal's like tana the behema. You're still chayiv. Mois, you must. That's what it says in the pasuk. Beskila atam beskila inelach ba'achas b'komisa sumer b'tayda. Again, nemer lahalon. It says the end of the pasuk ta'aroigu. V'nemer. This is a person who's instigated to avoid the zara lahalon ki haroig targanu. You got to kill him. Ma lahalon beskila afkam beskila. Zok the Gemara lamanu einish l'shaychev einish l'nishka minayin tamalayim. It says kol shaychem ve'im ma'isumas. Einoi inyin l'shaychev. Tnu inyin l'nishka lamanu einish bein l'shaychem ein l'nishka v'azar minayin frak Gemara. Tamalayimar. It says in the pasuk b'chol behema l'site shechavtcha l'tam b'bal lamanu azar l'shaychem l'nishka minayin frak Gemara. Tamalayim l'yakadosh minei Yisrael v'gaimer v'gam kadosh ha'ba'aretz v'gaimer divrei b'shmal. Very similar machlokes earlier. V'kivayim ein etzarch. Ha'ruayim l'sitein shechvatzcha l'sitein shechivazchach. Don't let yourself be in a position to be makabel. The same type of nakuda that we're bringing to the machlokes Rabbi Shmuel Rekiva is from psukim, or we're just learning the psukim or teaching a little different. Abal hazachar v'hebel of zachar. What is the halacha? Someone who's bal hazachar. Behel amechas zok Rashi. The halacha is yichayiv shtayim. Amar avola divrei Shmuel chayiv shtayim. According to Rabbi Shmuel yichayiv shtayim. Why? Because it's coming from two different psukim. Chadim leisishka v'chadim leikadosh. However, the divrei Akiva in chayiv la'achas because it's the same pasuk. Leisishkav leisishachiv chadi. Abala behema, same halacha with the behema. Ve'hevi behema olav. Amar avola divrei Shmuel chayiv shtayim chadim leisitein shechvascha v'chad. Again, leikadosh the divrei Akiva in chayiv la'achas shechvascha v'shchivasei chadi. Abai is not. No, I feel the difference. Why the chiksiv leyeh kodesh? Whenever it says kodesh, we're talking about this nus. But the gavri ksiv dafka between a man to a male to a female, or males, or people. However, behemoths are not in that pasuk. A little bit smaller. Zol l'nishka binoli. We're answering nafkalei mechol shaychiv and behema mois yumas. Imein el shaychiv. What are you going to do with this pasuk? We already know this. Tenuinyin. Lenishka. The afkir achmona lishka beloshin sheichem. Ma sheichem ino anish viz af anish viz. So too av nishka anish viz. Zok the heilige Gemara hanir v'lezacha v'hanir v'lebehema be'el amechas. That's the point. What is the halacha? Amar avola divrei Akiva. We know chayiv shtayim. Chada melei sishkov. V'chada another pasuk melei sitein. Shechavasech. Le divrei Shmuel in a chayiv alacha achas. Because why? Idi le'yeh kaideshu. It's all the same thing. Abayam feel the divrei Shmuel. Nami chayiv shtayim. Why? Dichsiv kol sheichem v'hema ma'isumas. Imein in l'shaychem. What are you going to do with the pasuk? Nun l'nishka. V'afkir achmana l'nishka b'loshin sheichem. To tell us the what? Ma sheichem einish. V'hizer so too av nishka einish v'hizer. Aval abala zacher, the heavy zacher Allah, or abala behema, the heavy behema Allah, bein la ravavo, bein la bayo, the rimishmal chayiv, shalosh, and la rekiva chayiv shtayim. The no whole enough community between Ravol and Abaye is what? When a person brings a behema on himself. According to the Abaye, which pasuk the area, the pasuk of what? Le'ye kodesh. And according to Avo, you have the pasuk of le'sitin shechvas chas. So it comes at three things: le'sishkav zachar. We all know le'ye kodesh and le'sitin shechvas seich. Those are the three that you chayv on. Taner Rabbanan zachar le'asu ba'y katon kigadol. Regarding a zachar, we're talking about the nishkav. We're talking about the person who's the recipient. The halach is we're going to see what this means. That a katan is not like a gadol. Behema doesn't make a difference. Now, kikato means of a gadol ksas b'ina zok Rashi. We're going to see the measurements. 9 years old, we know this is tashmish. Under 9, we don't consider tashmish, but you don't need to be bar mitzvah. Behema also b'kiktana g'dayla. If someone Rachman al-San doesn't on a behema, it doesn't make a difference how old he is. My loy asu boy katon kigado. What's the mean katon gadol? Is it 9? Is it 13? What's these measurements? Amar Rav loy asu bias pachos mi ben teisha shanim ki ben teisha shanim. Then he needs to be what? He needs to be 9 years old. Otherwise, we're going to see why. Why I is the recipient. Who cares that if he would do it, it won't be considered a tashmish? He says the recipient, we're going to see, is like the nekeva. We all know that Bas Shol is 3 years old. Regarding a nekeva, is considered tashmish. So Saktigmar, Frektamar, Micah Mifli. Rav Savik called the Isa b'Sheichiv, Isa b'Nishkav. Whatever, if you as the recipient would be giving the tashmish, how old do you need to be? You need to be 9. So too, as a Nishkav, as the recipient, you need to be 9. Mishka the Isha ksiva. One is the halacha of the Isha. We all know it's 3 years old. Tanya kavosa the Rav. Let's bring a raya to Rav because it says clearly zachar. Underline this. Pentesha shanim yemechad. So you clearly see over there that it's 9 years old. One on the top of Nunhem at Aleph Abala behema doesn't make a difference. Ben kedaka ben shaloi kedarko. Va'isha mevias behema alea ben kedaka ben shaloi kedarko. The halacha is lichai. Darash Rav Nachman bar Rav Chizda beisha that brings an animal onto her. Shnei mishkavos. However, behema regarding a adam mishkav echad. Frak the Gemara maska papa adarab say punk verkehrt. Isha de urchehu he a mishkav. I'll tell you mechayv midah. Achrina lemechayv. You should only be chayv on shalei kedarka. Behema de lab urchet and behema to go on it to do a biyam. I'll tell you punk verkehrt. Lechayv aleh kol nekav and nekav. Whether any type of kedarka shalei kedarka. The point is it doesn't make a difference. You be chayv. So the more time to look at the value. Why? Because it says Zacha ben Teisha Shanim Yemechot Ha Bala ben Kedaka ben Shaloi Kedaka Ve'isha Mevias Ben Bala ben Kedaka ben Shaloi Kedaka. What does it say? It clearly says that what? You're Chayiv. Amale Ravina LaRava HaMa'ara Bezachar Ma'u. So what is a Ma'ara? There's a machlekes. Is it Neshikas Aver or is it somewhat of a Chnosas HaTara, which is a Dover Mu'at? But more than that, it's already considered right. So it's B'Kshayla Zaku and Ma'ara is. But any of those points, the point is someone who does a Ma'ara Bezachar Ma'u. Do we say Marib Zacher Mishkave Isha Ksibbe? Zok Tamar Marib Zacher, what do you mean? Mishkave Isha Ksibbe. And it's Pasha the Yechayiv, just like we all know regarding Isha, if you do a Ra Yechayiv, why would I think a Zacher is different? Elamara Bebehema Mao. Amalei Meinin La Ra Dechsive Gabe Chois Aviv Chois Imoy. The Loitzricha, regarding the Pasuk, it clearly says in the Pasuk as follows. The Erves Achois Imcha Vachois Avicha Leisagala Kies Sheira Elroy. Shall I underline that? This whole Pasuk is Miyosur. Why? The iskish la rad nida. Already know this has the halachas of nida. So what are you going to do with this pasuk? Tnuin la rad behema. Frak the mar zok the mar mechti behema. Behema chayv mitzvahs bezini. So lameli dechsiv la rad day. Gab chayv krisa. Frak the mar. Why are you mentioning? If you think about it, behema. What is the halacha? Person sheikh behema. We all know. Yechayv misa. Person sheikh machayis says chayv kares. So why are we bringing it from the misa of kares to the misa of skill? That's where you're learning out from. That's where the Torah puts it. V'lik mechayv mitzvahs bezin. Mechayv mitzvahs bezin. Mar answers, Hayil the kuli krol drashu da seeks. Even Nami milsa the drashu. The whole entire pasuk is bechlam yusur. Memela we're learning that from there. By minei Rav achdavuya bar ami mar sheishes. Amar ba'atzmoi mau. Which means to say is a person he's able to take his aver and be machnis into his own guf. Amalei kavaston. You're annoying. How's this really possible? Amar vashi mighty boilach. Big kaishi. If it's an aver that's a kashui, that's not possible. The only way it's going to be possible if it's an aver mace. When the aver's mace, maybe it's possible. So too and then he said, Tarti mechayev ha-shaychiv, for being a shaychiv, u-mechayev a-nishkav. So what's the shayl? In our Mishnah, we clearly learned from the bottom, Nun Dalet and Aleph, by Behema there's 2 points. One is a takala, that it caused the Yid to do a takala, number 1. Point number 2 is that everyone walks and says, this Behema caused Ruvain to get killed. Now, regarding a guy, we're going to see that there's only one. Maybe it'll be takala. Maybe it's only degrading, it's embarrassing, but you can't call it takala. Do we say takala v'kolam, which means degrading a bush that everyone's going to say this behema bina? V'hacha takala ika. Okay, there's a takala regarding oivik kachavim, but kaloin laka. You can't tell me there's really embarrassment. That's what we're thinking now, that a guy does it, it's dark and bekach. They're not embarrassed. Zok tehele gegmar. And therefore you would kill the animal. Think about the tree. There's no feelings. It doesn't eat, doesn't drink. Doesn't tell. Regarding that sheira tree, we all know it says hashches. You destroyed sar v'chala. So to Amasis Chaveroi, Midarke Chaim, Ledarke Misa Lachas Gamakama, Elamata Zaktamorna, Oivik Kachavim, Hamishtachevel Behemto, Shados Bichai, Tisser Mikdalon, we know it's not true. On that, Rosh Hashanah answers, Meek and Midi, Dil Yisrael Asar, Villa Oivik Kachav Asar, that can be. So, Frektim are Yisrael Gufelis. So, why isn't talking about if Yisrael does it, should be Asar? My answer is Midi, the Aver Review. Regarding a animal to do our review with an animal, Meruba Vizekalaina, regarding the Zar, it's Mut. Frektim are very Lainos, they ain't Kalaina Meruba, and Ramatar still Hashchis Arvikala. My answer is, I know we're talking about Balachaim Kamina. The Chas Rachman Elai. Rav Amra Tar Behema Nem Esma Veira Taharik. That if the animal that had a no from this Tashmish got to get killed. Fraktimar of Arei Ilanois gets we destroyed, and there's no hano over there, they ain't Veira, Ramatar Hashchisar V'chala. That's what I'm talking about, the Chas Rachman Elai. Toshma, we're going to bring a rai that what? It's good enough. Koloin, the grading is good enough. Why? Because it says in the Mishnah, Dava Acha Shalei Behema, Oivet Es Beshok V'Yoimu Zui Sheneska Ploini Al Yoda. My love, Zok the Marwan and him Beis made the Seifas both Takala V'Kolon. I'll tell you, Reishas Dafka Takala Beloy Kolon. And the case would be the Echedami Oivet Kachavim Abala Behema, where there's a Takala, but there's no Kolon. My answers. No, Seifa B'Etzem Takala V'Kolon. Ereisha Kamash Mulan Dafilu Kolon Beloy Takala. Even though there's no Takala, but it's degrading. Na Mechayvim. What's the case? V'Echedami Yisrael Abel Behem B'Shoigik. And we're going to look at a Behem B'Shoigik. We're not going to say it's a Takala. Uchadabai Rav Nuna, Dabai Rav Nuna. Yisrael Abel Behem B'Shoigik. Mao. Do we say Takala V'Kolon B'inon? V'Acha Kolon. If that's degrading. You went and did tashmish with the behemoth. I don't care what the Torah says. The kolon, the person does it. Everyone agrees it's the davar meguna zok Rashi. You can think it's mutter, still a davar meguna ikar takala leka. Idom kolon after shein takala. Very good shmat. Omer Rav Yosef Toshma. Now we're going to bring a raya, very interesting. We're going to raya from the Gimel. We're going to bring it from Gimel Shanim, and we're going to bring it from a Zocher of Teisha Shanim, but it's going to be the exact same Shak of Torah. So let's see it inside. Toshma, Bas Shalosh Shanim Yimechot. The halach is a Isha girl, we all know, as long as she's 3 years old, Miskadesh is Bibia. Vim Baaleh Yavam, the halach is if the Yavam does the Yibam, the brother's wife, the Maisa, she's 3 years old. Kana. V'chayvan Olam Mishum Eishes Ish. If the father was Makabel Kedushin, and then someone went and did Bia with her, it's considered a full Bia, and therefore Yechayim into Mitame Eshes. Umetama is Bayala Letame Mishkav Tachtin Ke'elyon, which is talking about a Nida. Elyon means a Zav. We all know that if a person is born, when as long as B'toich Shalish, as long as she's under, if she's under three, the halach is she's not Metame Shiva like a Bayal Nida. That a Bayal Nida's Mishkav Tachtin Ke'elyon like a Zav. That the halacha is that he's a rishon l'tumah and he's also metama oichel v'kelin. In such a case, nisis l'koyin she could eat truma chatz v'truma ba'alechem and absulim pasim and akuna. Then ba'aleh, this is what we're getting to the point. Underline this mikol ha'arayis amuris b'torah mumasa yada she gets misa. However, v'hi p'tura. And Zaktamar Echa Mikol Arais, Bafilu Behema. The Kun says, even a behanimal. Right? This is the Raya Bahacha, the Kala and Ika, Takala Lek. You can't call it the Kala. Viktani, we all know, Mimasa Yada, we kill the Behema. So you clearly see a bomb Raya that as long as what? This Kala. My answer is no. Keep the Mizidi. Takala Nami Ika. Rachman the Chasala. You can't tell me there's no Takala. It's Takala. We're not going to punish her. Rachman the Chasala. Rachman the Chasala, Allah Didachas. A Behema, regarding the animal, no, Lechas doesn't care. Amarava, Tashma, let's bring a raya, another raya. Ben Teisha Shanim Yamechot. Very similar Gemara. Bal Yivimta Yakana. Vein and Nisa get Ashiagdal. Umetama kinida l'tam mishkav tachnik, like we're saying like a zaf. Paisel, veina machel, upaisel is a behema. If the animal did reveal, you can't bring it on the mizbech. Malgam mizbech. V'neskel sa yadei. V'inbach m'kala reisa mush b'tayir mumasu yadei. Again, v'chacha kol and ika takala like he's not bar mitzvah yet. My answer, Miktani is Kalsi Yadid, it's the Kashan. My answer is keeping the maze of the Kalanamika. Rachmana de Chasalayu, Allah de Dechas, Rachmana Behema, regarding the animal, Lechas, Rachmana, we kill it. Tashma says in the Mishnah, Dava Acher Shaloi Tebehema, Averis Bashok, V'yayim Zush, and Iska Pleni Yada. My lab in the Seifos, the Kala, the Kala, and I'll tell you, is Reisha Kala, but like the Kala, in the case would be the Echidam Yisrael, Habala Behema B'Shayik. My answer is like Sefer Takala Vikol and both Reisha Takala Balaikon. What's the case? Vechidami have Goivik Kachavim have Baal Behemach the Bainum now Sheshes. This is the Shaila. That what is very clearly you need one. Takala Oikol. And the question is, which one is the most vichta that we're going to say is not considered a problem and you'll kill it even without one of them. Zok the Heilige Mishnah Vayter. Hamegadif Eino Chayiv Achi Fars Hashem. So it's a big Shaila exactly what Hashem is. According to Rashi, Shem Yuchad. According to Rambam, it's good enough Yud Kei Vav Kei, Al Dal Nun Yod, etc. All this type of thing. So the Allah is someone who's Mekal the Rebbeinu Shalom. He has to say the name Bepif. He can't say the uncle said the Rebbeinu says, oh, based on what you said, I want to be Mekal. That's not going to work. You have to say it yourself. Amir Shua Ben Karcha one the top Nun Vav Amar Aleph. Bechol Yoim Donin Es Ha'edim. As long as there's Edim Bekinoi. Whenever we're having the Shaila, a person was Mekal. So whenever we bring the Eidim and we want to go through the case, they're not going to keep on saying Rachmana Litzlan the name. We're going to see in a moment what's going to happen in a second, but rather we quote it. We're going to call it Yaisi. We're going to see Yaisi's dafka, it's 4 letters. Someone to say it's 86, Gematrias. But the point is, Yaisi, Yakis, Yaisi. Nigmer Hadin. However, when it comes taka to kill the person, Lo Yahargim Bekinoi. Rather, so what do? You tell everybody you got to go l'mitzin kolam nilchutz. Shoyl in a gadol shebenein. Yes, the bigger the one who's more chashuv than the eidim. Amar Amar mashishamata befeirish. And we need to hear exactly what you're telling us. The Reuven said. V'uhoim, and he says the name of mefeirish. V'adayonin oim dinarigleim. They get up. We're going to see why the koyin and they rip the begadim v'loy ma'achin. Just like today, we all know someone's nifter. They rip their jacket, you see it, and they rip, and they're never allowed to repair it. Ma'achin, you're never allowed to repair it. V'asheni oimer afani kamoy. The sheni, the second aid we're going to see, doesn't need to say the shema before. She just says an osu like v'chein lamar. And I agree with what he said. V'ashlishi oimer afani kamoyu. We're going to see this. V'ashlishi is going to come tell us who is this for, like Rabbi Kiva. Very geshmak. Now, very clearly, Afani Shamati Kamoy Zok Rashi, the ain't tzarich lachzer la'asker b'chutz Hashem. We're going to see that's not ain't tzarich that he has a choice. Rather, there's no tzarich, and therefore he has no choice, and he's mechoyev just to quote it. But avad, it's usher to say the Shem Hashem Mfurish. Because we're going to see in Samachim Beis why we're coming to this ain't tzarich. Zok the Heilige Mishnah Tana. Achi varach shem b'shem minonimila. Where do you know that you need to say it twice? You basically have to say, Rashi's masber, Yake ploini es ploini. Or you be makalo shem ploini es shem ploini. How do you know you need to say it in it? So we're going to see, go through it. Amar Shmuel Amar Krop says in the pasuk, V'noikev shem. And over here we're going to see, Noikev we're learning as a makalo. Do the Rebbeinu Shalom v'goymer. Benikvoi. Shem, you must. How do you know Noikiv, if anything, means the lashon of Kalala? Mihai the Noikiv lashon of the Beruche, which is the lashon Ma'aliyah, which means Avada Kalala. Who dichsev, like it says in the pasuk, Mea akad, how can I curse? Lo kavay kel, if the Rebbeinu Shalom is not cursing. But Hazarase mehalcha, how do you know regarding the Hazar? Elikim says in the pasuk, Elikim le'sakalel v'nasi ba'amcha lo'isar. The maybe it means, if you think about it, lashon naikiv is a lashon piercing, like taking a knife and stabbing it in. Mivras it says in the pasuk, vayikoiv, and he bored a hole char bedalasai, and on the lid. Vazirasamach, I'll tell you, vat mishmam. Vat mishmam is what we're talking about. Idol l'sasukein laHashem elokeichem. Be'inon shem b'shem v'leka. Zok the Gemara is impossible to do with a piercing, a shame and a shame. Regarding a klal b'peh, you could say yaisi yakis yaisi. Ve'ema demanach shnei shneimas da'adadi ubazalu. Maybe you have 2 sefer Torahs. Let's say you take a knife and you stab it. Zok the Gemara. Ahu noikiv v'chayzev v'naikiv. All you're really doing is piercing both, but it's not the one going in the other. Ve'ema dechayk shem apun the sakina bazalu. Maybe you have engraved the shem Hashem and you stab it. Huchuva the sakinu the kabazah. It's really the knife. Punk, there's a nice engraving, but it's not the name that's doing it. Zok the Gemara, ema perushe shemehu. Einachanami. Maybe it means to say it, not the way it's vocalized, the way we say it, rather the way it would be pronounced, the real Isius. Right? Yud Kei Vav Kei is not the way we say it. The Chesed says in the pasuk that Yikach Moshe v'Aaron is anoshim ha'ela asher nikvu b'shemus. Over there means to specify the names. And v'azirasim I'll tell you, Hashem lekechatira. Moran says chadad to be in a shame b'shem. But like again, you need the nakut of yaisi yakas yaisi. It's not possible. Void havala azar sasei. V'azar sasei leishmei azar. Iba same. I'll tell you another that it's considered klal. Amar Cross says in the pasuk vayikoiv vayikalol. And over here vayikoiv, we're saying it's pronounced and he cursed. Remember the nikev klalu. Dr. Mara Vidilma maybe means he was mefarish it and then he was mekalol. The dimad over the right. What's it saying in the pasuk? Hoitz it's a mekalol. The likes of Haise es a noikev vehamekalish. I mean, no, that's one chadi. Tana abana ish, matamalim ish. If you look inside the pasuk, it clearly says, "Vel bnei Yisrael dabelemar ish." So we're going to see by that it says regarding the klala double ish. Ish matamalim ish leRabbi they say is the kachavim that watch muzar and albichas Hashem just like Israel. Vein in their rugged. How do they get killed? They get killed beside ela beside shacham misamur b'nei noyach ein ela beside. And we learned this regarding Adam very clearly. We're going to see this later. Or maybe it's Chag nafka, rabbis to tell us, for example, the rabbis says Kinuyim, Elakim, Shakai, Tzavakais, all those type of cases. I'll leave it there. The Tanya says in the pasuk, Ish, ki kala lekov, v'nasuchet, matam alayim v'lay kvar. Nam already says regarding Mekal v'nakav sham. The pasuk we started the daf with, v'nakav shem Hashem ma'isumas. Zok the Marla Fishin Nam v'nakav shem Hashem ma'isumas, v'loy elchai v'lo Hashem miyucha bavad. Being now the rabbis call it Kinuyim. How do you know the Kim Tzavakah to Shakai, etc.? Tam alayim it says Ish. The cheat is from Eva. Vala Kinuyin gets a word by Zara. Upliga der Miyasha, Damer Miyasha, Ben Noyach, Shebirich, Es Hashem, the Kinuyim. According to Rabbi Chaim, my time of it says in the pasuk, Kager Ka'azrach, Ben Nok Vashem Yumas. Why is it saying this? Ger V'azrach would have been a Nek Vashem, Avalev Kachavim, to tell us I feel the Kinuyim is going to make a curse. Rameir. Hi, what's according to Meir argues? Hi, Kiger Ka'azrach, my Avalei. So tomorrow, you know what this comes to tell us? Ger V'azrach is going to get what? Biskila. Avalev Kachavim is going to get what? Bisayf. Zoknemar Sakadech Chamin Oilis Rabbis Rabu Kamash more than that. Rabbi Yitzchak Nafcha leave the Bona Hi Kiger Ka'azrach my Avalei. Zoknemar Ger Ka'azrach would have been on what? Shem Hashem. Avalev Kachavim like being a Shem Hashem. Ish. Glomily. Right? So no. They're B'Torah Kaloshim Neod. Tada Abana. Now we're going to go through all the Zion mitzvahs B'nei Noyach. Tada Abana Sheva mitzvahs Nitztavnu B'nei Noyach. One is Dinan. We all know that they have civil courts. Ubirchas Hashem. This is the Klala. Avoid the Zara. Gila Arayas. We're going to see it's everything except the Nairu Marasa. That they don't have this. Regarding Avimelech, we're going to see this. V'Shvichas Damim. V'Gezel, which is number 6. V'Aver Min HaChai. Zok Tehela Gemara. V'Chanina Begamla Eimer. Af Aladam. Min HaChai is going to also learn this. We're going to go through everything later. Af Alasirus. Even regarding doing Sirus. Reb Shimon Eimer. Af Alakishuf. Rabbi Yossi Eimer. Kol Amur Parshas Kishuf. Ben Noyach Muzar Olaf. Whatever is regarding the Parsha of Kishuf. Ben Noyach is also Muzar in it. Because it says in the pasuk, so what is all these types of things in the pasuk? Kaisem, kesamim. And a person does all these divinations. Ma'aynin, u'menachesh. Ma'aynin is the sleight of hand, what we call magic, what people think it's magic. Some want to say he wants to know when he's going to go, and he's based on certain zachen. U'menachesh. Menachesh, he's making his decisions based on certain omens. U'mechashif. Mechashiv is someone who does sorcery. V'chayver chaver, he's able to make behemoths do tashmish, drew his charms. V'shoyel oivi yidaini, we all know he does spirits with dead people, with his armpit. And yidaini puts a bone of an animal, makes voices in his mouth. V'dayrish el hamesim, he sleeps in the base of kvaris to come with all the spirits of the mason. The goymer ubechlal tevis ha'ela Hashem alakecha marish oisim b'necha. Because of this, the Rebbeinu Shalaylam was Moshe. You clearly see they were part of the Hazar. But Layana Shalim Kenizer. Rabbi Lazaim Afla Kalaim. Now Kalaim, I'm going to see. Dafka means grafting, and behanimals, 2 different animals to procreate them. Mutarit. Bnei Noyach Lilvush Kalaim. Shat is their ladder, but Lizroy Kalaim. The seed is going to be mutar. Vein Asur Nala what? Barvaz Behema, which is doing our vav between the 2 animals, or Barkovas Ha'ilim, which is grafting. Zok the Gemara. Where do we know the Zion mitzvahs b'nei Noach? So let's go right inside. Rabbi Yochanan Dam Cross says in the pasuk regarding Adam Rishon, Vayitzav Hashem elakidam al Adam leimu kol eitzagan achotach. That's the pasuk. You should surely eat. Vayitzav. We're going to break down this pasuk. Vayitzav Loshin Tzav, Ela Dayanim, Elo Dinam, to tell us that what they have civil courts. V'cheinu Aimer, like it says in the pasuk, Ki Yedativ L'man Asher Yitzave, underline the word is Banav, V'goimer, and it says in the pasuk, there's Beisei Achar V'shomer Dech Hashem, Lasei Tztaka U'Mishpat. So Yedativ L'man Asher Yitzave is Banav V'goimer, Rezu Berachas Hashem. V'cheinu Aimer V'noikev Hashem, what do we learn from Hashem? This is the Kalala. Like you saw earlier, V'noikev Shem Hashem Maisumas. Elikim, what's Elikim? Allah Adam is what? Zushvichas Dam. V'cheinu Shevich Dam of Adam. V'goyim, like it clearly says in the pasuk, Shevich Dam of Adam ba'Adam, Dam Yishavich. Lamar, what's it say? Lamar, we're learning from the pasuk. Oh, Veitzav Hashem Elikim El Adam Lamar. What do we learn from that? Zu Gila Rice V'cheinu Aimer. We're seeing Lamar, the concept of introducing, the concept of marriage. Lamar Heinish Alchitz Ishtay V'Hochem Ita V'Aisel Shachar. Mikol. What do we learn? Mikol. Eitzagon V'Loi Gazel to tell us Ksela Achel to Achel V'Loi Evim Menachai. Adkan. K'Yosef Yitzchak Tnei Ifcha. He says Veitzav Zu Avodas Kachavim. Elikim Zawad Zu Dinim. Bishma Elikim Zu Dinim. We know this. T'chsev Nikar Balabais Elikim. Elevate Tzav, the him Tzav Zu Avedizar. My mash, where do you see Tzav is Loshem Avedizar? Yitzchak. Rav Chizda Yitzchak B'Gdim Michadam. It says in the pasuk, Soru Ma'ir Menadech T'Shtrei Ashet Tzivisim Asem. This is regarding the Egel, the Goimer. So you clearly see that it's Avedizar B'Chadamar. Oshuk Ephraim. Rotzes Mishpat suppresses the fine. Why is crushed Mishpat? Kahaylach Alach Achrei Tzav. He went after what? The people that were telling them to do Avodah My bin, what's the nafkamina? You come in, akum sha'as Avodah but he didn't do hashtachava. He didn't worship it. V'lo hashtachava. The man that asu learning from the egel mishasach siyam mechayiv. You already have the mishasach siyam. Man, I'm like hoyel halach adazil till he goes and does it. Basrei falachlin. He worships it. Worships the Avodah Zarah. Rav Mikal man the Amar akum sha'as Avodah Zarah v'lo hashtachava. Chayiv atanyo. Ba'akum we know dwan shebezin sheYisrael mimisan alam. Ben Noach is muzan land. Ein bezin sheYisrael mimisan alam. If we don't have a lacha of execution, ein ben Noach muzan land. My lumute ba. What's it coming to exclude? My love lumute akum sha'as Avodah Zarah v'lo hashtachava. In such a case, they're not chayiv. Amar Papa, loy lumute to tell us gipuk. A guy goes over there, his gachka, and he embraces it. Uvinishuk and he kisses it. So more. What's the case of Gipuk Finish? That's the way to be over the Zara. Bakataluhu. Yavadi over the Zara. Ella lemute to tell us Shaloi Kedarko. Dinin regarding civil courts. Bnei Noach, if good, is this really true that they're commanded to do civil courts? V'atani esamitzas the Savi Yisrael b'mar Sheva shekivulam b'nei. So whatever the Zion mitzvahs b'nei Noach are, v'hoisifu. Lashon Hasifu means it's not part of the mitzvahs. And what's it say? V'hoisifu land. Get ready for this. Dinin clearly says dinin. V'shabes keep it avein. Dinin the chsev like it says in the pasuk. Sham. What's it say in the pasuk? Sham loy chayk mishpat. You should put over there. Very clearly, that they meet statutes and laws. Shabbos kibudayim dechsev kashet tzivcha Hashem lekecha v'amar Yehuda kashet tzivcha is b'mara. So what is going on? How you tell me it's part of the Zayin mitzvah from Noach? Amar Rav Nachman Rav Rula Nitzchah to tell us that what there's a chilek. El le'edim we know that what eight laws we all know that you need to have 23. The Yanim Bayas says Yisrael. The edim you need to have 2 vasra. Yachi my v'haisifa aleindin. It's not haisafa. Amar Rav Nitzchah ledin knases. Zok demar kati v'asiv v'dinim v'valei. The Mitzvah says his Sibadinin. Amar Vachabar Yaakov and Nitzchot to what? Elalohayshib Bezdin B'chol Plach in every province, every year in every city. Frektimara V'Bnei Noach Lo Yifka the Nakaman about Tani Kashem Shin Istavi Yisrael Hayshib but the Dinim B'chol Plach every year. Kachnes Bnei Noach Lohayshib Bet the Dinim B'chol Plach B'chol every year. Elamar Rabbi Tana the Menashi. The what? The mapik he's going to change the Dal Chav V'Ayol Samichav. So what's Dal Chav? Dinim. Ubirchas Hashem, and he's going to flip it to what? To Sirus, which is the Samuch, and the Chaf is Kilai. The Tana the Menashe Sheva Mitzvahs Nitztabnei Noach. Avei Dezar is 1, Gila Rice is 2, Shechadam is 3, Gezel is 4, Eva Menachai is 5. Get ready. Sirus is number 6, V'Kilaim is number 7. Yehuda Aimer. Oh, the Marishan Lein Stava. What? Alala. Avei Dezar Bevat. Shenem like it says in the pasuk. Veitzav Hashem Elikim. Allah Adam. Veitzav Hashem Elikim. Allah Adam, that you shouldn't do anything else, go do other catchkas. He's learning from Elohim that what? That the Rebbeinu should say you shouldn't curse it. Like it says in the Pasuk, Elohim le'sekalo. Af al hadinim. You're learning out from the Pasuk of Elohim. Who is this man? Command Azla Adam Revudam Rav. Elohim ani le'seklani. Elohim ani le'semiruni. Elohim ani yemera lechem. Who's this like? Command Yishayim. It says all 3. Tana the Meimanashi Darsh Veitzav. Very simple. If you're learning Veitzav, Afila Hanechnami, all the rest of the Zayin mitzvahs you should learn it. Din and Brichas Hashem. Eloi Darsh Veitzav, then Hani Minoli. Zok Tamar Lailam, Loi Darsh Veitzav. Hani Kol Chad V'Chad Chad V'Ap Nefshei Ksiva. Let's go through. Avei the Zara, how do we know this is Megillah Rise? Tichsev, it says in the Pasuk on the top of Zayin and Aleph. V'Tichsev Tishaches Ha'aretz Lifnei Lekim. And if they got punished on it, Elamai, they were commanded. This is talking about what? Bnei Noach, it's talking about Noach. They got punished for what? For oaths, we're going to see in a second, for Gilai Rayas. Elamai, the Mechuy. So we're seeing Avodah and Gilai Rayas. V'tana de Bei Rei Shmo Kamakim Shenema Ashchasa. What is Ashchasa? Eina ledvar erva v'avodas kachav. Dvar erva, we know Shenema ki hishchis kol bosses darkoi. Avodas kachavim, dichsev like it says, ben tashchisim v'asisim v'goyim. V'idach that's not learning it out. Why don't you see l'chayr that Avodah Zarah and Gilai Rayas is meferish from Bnei Noach? No, you know why they got punished. Idach or Chayde go become Magali. That's why they got punished. But where do you know it from? You know it from Adam Arishan. I'll tell you. Shvichas dam, like I said, Shoyvech dama Adam v'goyim. V'idach kitlayu. That's you know how they're getting killed with hereg. That's the point. Do the Magali. Gazel, like it says in the pasuk. Keyerek Esev nasati lachem es kol. V'amar Reb Levi Kiyerek Esev like Kiyerek Gina they now do Gina, which is what? Which is Gzeil. V'idach no Ula Misha Basar the Asar. We're going to see that a Basar is going to be mutter. And until now is Asar. Now like you're just like everything else that even the Basar. Even Menachai Dechsif, it says in the pasuk Ach Basar benafshoi Dam Eloi Sechelu Shenit the Dam. V'idach Ula Misha Shratzim with the Asar. We're going to even see this more extensively to tell us that even the Shratzim is going to see it might be permitted. Sirus, Tichsev, Shar Tzubaretz, V'Ravuva, Shadu Peruvu, that means not Sirus. V'idach no, Levracha Ba'amatz Shabracha, Kalain Tichsev, Ma'oif, Leminayu. He brought into the Nayach, to the Teva, what? Dafka the Minim. Elamai, that's Kalaim's Asr. V'idach no, let's have Sabahama to tell us you want companionship. The animals want to be with the same type of men. Rabbi Yosef Ami Be'Rab, Al Sholosh, Mitzvahs, B'nei Nayach, Nera. What is that? Gesher is going to be this minute. Gilai Rice is number one. V'shichas dama v'bichas Hashem b'makal. Maskal sheishes bisham v'shichas dama. Okay, we can understand. The chsev shoyvech dama adam v'goymer. We learned clearly over there. Shoyvech dama adam. But adam dama yishav because he get killed. Elahana chayni know the other two minalo. Igam v'shichas dama. Then stam all zayin mitzvah. Zayin mitzvah b'nei nech shbichayv. Afilu kulanami. Imishum this Rabbi. You're going to tell me dafka from Ishish because over there very clearly they all have regarding our rice it says Ishish. Then Avodas Kachavim Nami is Rabbi. If you look in the pasuk of Yod and Torah of Bnei Yisrael Dai Tamar, Ish Mimnei Yisrael, where it talks about Zara L'Maydach. It's also by whether Zara says Ish. Then also Avodas Kachavim Nami is Rabbi Mish Ish. Elam Rav Sheshes Amin Bei Rab Inechanami. You might say by the Zara. Al Arba Mitzvahs Ben Noach Ner. Well, Avodas Kachavim Frakti Mara Ben Noach Ner. Is this really true? V'atani we have a price about Avodas Kachavim Dvarim Shel Bezdin Sheyisrael Memisin Alein Ben Noach Muzar Alein. We see clearly Azara in Misa. Loi. That's how they get killed. Ravuna Rabbi Devikulah Zami the Rabbi Amiel Sheva Mitzvahs B'nei Noach Nera. Gali Rachmana Bechada. Who did? The Kula they're going to get killed. Frak Demara Vala Gazel. Ben Noach Dechzela. He's going to get killed. Nerek Va'atanya says in the pasuk. Al Hagazel. This is regarding Zela. Al Hagazel. Ganev. The Gazel, the Chain Fastar. These are regarding Zaylah, Ganav, the Gazel, the Chain Fastar. The Chain Kayotzebem, we're going to discuss this, what it means, the Chain Kayotzebem. So if it's a Kusi, Bekusi B'Yisrael, it's also to do all this. However, Yisrael Bekusi is able to do this, Mutter Duk Zaylah. We're going to see what this means in Tifastar. Vem Isa, and if this is true, Nisni Chayiv. If you tell me that what? The Chaim Misa, why does it say Usher? It should say Chayiv. My answer is, you know why? Mishum, the Kabbalah Misni Seifa, Yisrael Bekusi Mutter. We want to use the Lashon Mutter and Usher. Hatana Reish Aser. Fraktamar, is this really true? V'kol heicha, islei chiyuve, for whatever, there's a misa. Misnaktani, it's very explicitly, Diktani Reisha, al shviches damin, kuti v'Yisrael, chayiv, and underline the Yisrael b'kuti pater. So it's Dr. Mara, what do you want? Hasam heicha lisni. Lisni, asr motivatani, it's not true. Kuti v'rei be'im adaka, like mailim, like maridi, and I'll put them in the bar and I'll take them out of the bar. If I do not let it kill them. Kayaitza v'gazel mai. So Dr. Mara, so you have no choice of there. Fraktamar, kayaitza v'gazel mai. What's a kayaitza v'gazel? Amr Avachbe Yaakov Nitzchot to tell us while the Pol, the Karam, someone who's eating, a worker is able to eat. What's the case? Pol the Karam, must be able to eat. Ibashas Kamar Malachi able to eat the grapes while you're pulling out the grapes. Stop, it's Mutter Teru. Either Abashas Kamar Malachi, it's Kayitz, it's Gazamalia, your regular Gazlan. El Amr Papa Nitzchot to tell us in a case when you stole Pachis mishave pruta. Pachis mishave pruta. Frek the Gemara, he hachi kuti b'Yisrael. Also, why habar mechilu is Michael? That why is it mut to take for shava pruta? Because the person doesn't care. So the Gemara, he the basa hachi machaleit sari b'shaito mi. Let's say I give the mashal, for example, a guy has a scratched up car. Would you go over to him and say, "Can I scratch another? Can I do a little scratch?" I'd rather you say no. But if you did it already and you scratched, he goes, "No, I'm ready all scratch."